Hi, I'm Emily, and this is Indie Book Reviews. Hello, and welcome back. This week, we have a book that I don't think I'll ever get over. I have to be honest, it has become my Roman Empire. It has immediately gone to my top 3 books of the year, possibly ever. This book was everything that I need in a book. Everything that I didn't know I needed in a book. Today, we're talking about A Stark Few by Alexis Patton. Disclaimer, Alexis Patton recently got a trad deal to republish these books along with the final book in the trilogy. That's happening early 2026. So, is this still an indie author book review? Yes. Will it be in the future? No. I don't know if that's going to upset anybody, but in my head, this is still an indie book. At least for now. And I also just can't get over how absolutely incredible it is, so I need to talk about it. That way when it does go big publisher in every bookstore, everybody can go and buy it anyway. Now this book already has quite a bit of traction online. I think it's kind of like a book talk book. She's got 20,000-ish followers on Instagram. So obviously she's doing pretty well, but I'm here for a little bit of extra support. I'm here to talk about it just because I'm really excited to talk about it. It was so good that when I was looking at reviews of it online and I saw somebody write something negative, I got angry. I was like, don't speak that way. Don't speak about my perfect book that way. Alright, so let's get into it. A Stark Few is a dark dystopian romance. Trigger warning, bold letters. There is a trigger warning in the front of the book. Obviously, as always, I'm going to tell you now, if you are sensitive to certain things, don't go crazy with this one. But that being said, it was an incredible representation of what it is like to have depression. Fantastic writing and fantastic character growth as well. Although that's not the only thing that there, can be sort of triggering, so just watch out. Like I said, dark dystopian romance. It's not a happy book. It's not a happy book, but it is amazing and beautiful, and I love it. Spice level, meh. It's open door, but there's not a lot. I think there's one scene that gets a little risque, but it's nothing crazy. I actually just finished the second book, and same goes for the second book. Nothing crazy. It is open door though, so if you're not into that, don't go crazy with this one. However, if you're like me and you don't care, go crazy for this one. It was ridiculously good, and I will remember this book forever. I don't want the other stuff that I mentioned to make it sound like a bad book or you shouldn't read it. You should read this book. Apologies while I look at my notes while I explain this book. I needed to write down a synopsis because the last time I tried to do this, I just couldn't explain the book, so I needed to write it down. We have a lonely young woman named Kalani as our female main character. She is put into an underground prison for a crime that should not be considered a crime, but it is. She faces abuse, uncovers truths about the surface and about the government. She finds a family, her little prison family, and she pushes the buttons of and gains the attention of the commander of the guard, Takeshi Steele. This man needs to seek psychological help immediately. And that's all I have to say. So, let's break it down piece by piece, per usual. Starting off with writing quality. I just want everybody to know that this book is going to be rated very high. Starting off with writing quality out of 5. While this book did contain actual poetry within it, this book was like poetry. It read like poetry. I have never ever felt this way about a book, but it felt like every word, every sentence was meticulously thought out. She thought about everything she said. The metaphors and descriptions were top-notch, out of this world. Again, I highlighted so many things. This book was a reminder that literature is art. It just felt like art, the whole thing. And also, as I said before, the female main character struggles with some depression and suicidal thoughts. And the writing did a great job at mimicking what it feels like in real life. But let's not get too deep. on a more positive note, I wrote down a quote that I just really, really liked. And it's like the end of a sentence, so bear with me. As if she were the blazing sun, and he the brisk moon, striking and far-reaching, forever destined to be apart. Girl, shut up. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. Again, poetry, lyricism. So, writing quality, obviously a 5. I feel like that quote explains itself. Plot, we have at a 4.9, and there is a very, I'm flustered. When I first finished this book, I thought 5 stars all around. A 5-star book to me means I have no notes. Not a single note, which is insane. Not that I'm like super judgmental or anything, but I feel like, I don't know. Whatever. The plot was going to be a 5, but there was one small thing, and because this is a spoiler-free review, I won't tell you like what it is, but there was one part of the plot that had to do with like the government that it felt like a missing piece, or it just felt like something that I couldn't really understand. So that's why it's a 4.9. However, let's get to the good stuff. Obviously, through and through, this was amazing, start to end. There was enough in every single chapter that enticed me to keep going, but it was never overly complicated. There was never something I didn't understand or that I was wondering about. Absolutely devoured this book. I mean, like, ate this up. So I just wanted to keep going. And so with the second book, I liked the first book more than the second book, even though they were both absolutely incredible, but I devoured the second book in like 24 hours. I mean, literally 24 hours. They're not super long either, which is why I could finish it in 24 hours, but like still, it's a full book. Something that I also noticed that I really liked was that I didn't know what to expect from this author. I couldn't predict outcomes, which I frequently find that I can. Maybe it's when you read so many books or when you write books, it becomes like you see patterns. Like I was talking about this in book club the other week, that when I see a bit of foreshadowing, I automatically think to myself, the author can take this path, but then this will happen, so they won't take that path. Or the author can take this path, but it leaves a couple of open questions, so they won't do that one either. So what they will do is go down this path and choose this ending or choose this next step because it makes the most sense. In this book, in Us Dark Few, I could not tell you what was going to happen, which is exhilarating. As a reader, to like actually be on the edge of your seat, that's what keeps you reading, is when you can't predict what's going to happen next. It's no wonder I finished this book so fast. So anyway, plot was a 4.9. We love that. Moving on to characters, also 4.9. Again, this is like, everything was perfect except this one minor thing. And just to get it out of the way, the minor thing was that I wanted to see more of the side characters. That was it. We got plenty of the side characters. I just wish there was a little bit more. Just because I think they're really fun and unique, and I would have loved to like just get to know them on a deeper level. But again, like there's only so much time in a book. So the 2 words that I have for the characters are complex and unique, which I feel like at least now, or especially when you're reading in the same genre, you see the same people over and over again. I'm a very character-driven reader, so I really love when I find a character that is relatable, that is honest, that is a little bit different, which both these characters were. Both the main characters were new and fresh for me, especially the man, which I love seeing not the same man over and over again. So going back to the main characters, like mental health problems, I have seen the you don't value your life trope before. I don't know if it's really a trope, but when the love interest is like, you don't take care of yourself, you take like way too many risks because you don't value your life. I've seen it before and it's okay. It was done very, very well here because we see inside her head so much, which is crazy because it's also third person. But we see right inside her head, right inside her thoughts. We understand why she does the things that she does. So being able to understand her is incredible. The love interest, he is less easy to understand, especially in the first book. I think once you get into the second book, you kind of get more insight. So I am kind of throwing the second book in there as well in this review, but He was also an awesome character. He took morally gray to a whole new level. You want to talk about Rhys-Anne being morally gray? No. No. This man is like morally charcoal. Morally night sky. Not quite black, but like pretty much right there. Bro is scary. Like I said, he needs a therapist. No. He needs a psychologist. No. A psychiatrist. Takeshi Steele has big issues. But we love him for it. That's kind of like his whole personality. Like he does good things, but he also does some very, very bad things. Like their first few interactions together, I was wondering how in the world the author was going to get me to like this man. It reminded me of when Rowan Whitethorn punched Aelin in the face, and I was like, you can't get me to like a man that hits a woman. I don't know how to follow that up. Except, like, he never... I can't say he never punched her in the face. I can say that. I wrote in my notes, I didn't know how he would redeem himself. Well, I guess he didn't. He never really did. We just kind of like learned to accept him as he is. And we're like, yeah, all right, this dude, he's doing what he's doing. But you like trust him anyway? I don't know. It's crazy. Whatever. He's incredibly well written. And is he my book boyfriend? No, because he's scary. He scares me too much. But he was very, very fun to read. Just an exhilarating character overall, because you kind of know what to expect from him, but it's always like a little bit crazier than you would think. This is more for like the second book, but as you will all really get to know, is that I love the jealousy trope so much, and he is a very, very jealous man. That's all I will say. And the side characters like Winnie and Serene are really awesome, and we do get a lot of Winnie, which I appreciate. I wish we got more of like Serene and Adam and Eric. The characters make the story, don't they? Forget plot. What's a plot without great characters? So anyway, I feel like I'm just like smiling because I'm so excited. I've been recording for so long. This is going to take ages to edit because I just keep yapping about it. I really like this book. I have so many notes. Creativity, I had a little bit lower. It was like really high, but then I thought about it too much, and then I was like, oh, this blah, blah, blah. But now I'm kind of thinking about it again, and I kind of want to bump it back up. When I was thinking about it, when I was writing all my notes down, I had it at a 4.5. Thinking about it again, though, I want to like bump it up to maybe like a 4.7. The problem that I have is that creativity is also like uniqueness, right? Like, how many times have I read this before? Well, I've never read this before, right? So it was very creative in that way. The characters are very creative. I think it was the setting that sort of threw me off. Dystopian is dystopian, right? Like, the world is ending. Usually it's radiation or something. The setting of this book heavily reminded me of Fallout, like the TV show, or I guess the game. I never played the game. And the sort of like prison system, political agenda type stuff reminded me of Shatter Me. So I can be reminded of other books when it comes to this. I can't say there's nothing like it. There's nothing like these characters, that's for sure. I think what they go through is sort of like, I can relate it to other things. All of it put together though, like, it's an incredible story. Again, I've never read something like this before. I don't read a lot of dystopian, so I think I was also kind of considering that too. I don't have a lot to compare it to. You know, I read The Hunger Games, I read Shatter Me, I watched Fallout. I did recently read Silver Elite, although how dystopian that is up to your own opinion. I don't know. I wish I had read more dystopians to sort of like, so that I have more to compare it to. But because I don't read a lot of that stuff, I would consider this very creative, and regardless, the characters are very creative, very unique. I loved them. I want to like hold them and tell them everything's gonna be okay, because they go through a lot of stuff. A lot of horrible stuff. Like, these poor people. On another note, I remember when I first read Hunger Games in middle school, my innocent mind was like, oh my god, who comes up with this stuff and like decides to write a book about it? The other day, which, you know, just makes me think of this because there's a lot of, you know, tough stuff in here. But I was explaining like the premise or like part of the plot of my book to my fiance the other day, and he was like, you've thought of that? I was like, yeah, I don't, like, it's not that bad. I don't know, whatever. Us authors are a little bit crazy. Anyway, so I guess creativity, I'm gonna keep it at a 4.5 because when I was thinking about it the other night, that's what I came up with. So that's what we're leaving it at. I don't know. Now my thoughts are getting jumbled, so I need to wrap this up. Okay, last thing, overall feeling. I wrote 5+ here. Like, I would give this 6 stars if I could, really. My overall feeling was absolutely incredible. This, like I said, this is my Roman Empire. I'm not just exaggerating. Like, I know it probably sounds like I'm exaggerating, but this is my Roman Empire. I loved this book. Like, there are a couple books in this world that, like, I read and I'm genuinely blown away, impressed by it. This is a book like that. Death is My BFF, while it does carry a very, like, nostalgic feeling for me, that is just a book that, like, I could read over and over again. I consume all the content with a smile on my face. I will love this book forever. My heart was racing. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about it. I was staying up late to finish it, and I opened it first thing when I woke up in the morning. It was that good. Like, you could not get me to put this down. Easily in my top 3 for the year. And while, like I said, it is not like a giggle, kick your feet type of book. It is more of like a hold your breath type of book. Like a bite your nails type of book. I don't know. I feel like I love a giggle and kick your feet. I'm starting to think that I like the hold your breath a little bit more. Ooh, I'm throwing this out there. I forgot to put it in earlier. Something that I really liked about the creativity of this was basically after this, like, they call it the Great Collapse, after this, like, radiation happened, you know, nuke bombs, whatever. Once they went underground, they, like, tried to erase the past. She doesn't know anything about the past. Like, she doesn't know what a record player is. They don't listen to music. They can't read books, like fiction books. She doesn't know what bees are. Like, there's a moment where Winnie mentions something about bees and she's like, what are bees? Because she's never been to the surface and they don't teach you about, like, that old life. I don't know, which I haven't seen. So I don't know. I really liked that. So it's going to take me 900 years to edit this video because I just spent 99% of it yapping. But I love this book and I feel like it really deserves the recognition that I want to give it. So it's okay if this video is a little extra long. I loved it. I love this book and I'll say it over and over again. And I'm very excited to read the 3rd one when it comes out next year. I will be ordering the original books now, signed copies, because it actually means that much to me. I'm ordering the indie copies, that way I can have the indie copies when the new books come out, because obviously once the new books come out, these will probably be erased from everywhere. But these covers are really, really awesome. I just really want the original version. This is the version that I read. This is the version that I loved. So I really want this version before it gets republished with new covers and, you know, I don't know if they're going to change anything else, like when they put it out again next year, but I want it the way that it is now. So I'm ordering my signed copies on Friday. So if you're up for a really, really incredible deep dive of a read, absolutely read this book. Put it on your TBR if you haven't already read it or if it's not already there. I know it's kind of like popular, but wow, there is a reason for it. I wish I could explain it enough. So this is my official recommendation for Us Dark Few and Us Deadly Few, and then the 3rd book, Us Defiant Few. Even though I haven't read it yet, I'm recommending it when it comes out. Keep an eye out for it in your local bookstore in the upcoming months, upcoming year. I don't know when it's actually coming out, but... And we're going to end this video with a little bit of a self-promo. I write romantasy. You can read my book, Spring Haven. It's got, like, a goddess of death. I need to come up with, like, a pitch for my book. It has a goddess of death, a tattooed commander-in-chief, and a lot of betrayal, and I don't know. If you like romantasy, give it a try. I don't really know what else to say. I really need to come up with a pitch or something. I'm so bad at marketing. But the 2nd book is coming out on September 2nd, and I actually just decided today that I am going to put it up for pre-order probably about 2 weeks before it comes out, and that first week after it does come out, I'm going to put the first chapter of the 3rd book in the back of it. And after that, you're out of luck. It's just going to be the second book because it's going to take a little while for the third book to come out. I'm writing another book in between, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little taste because I'm kind of excited for it. So yeah, if you're interested, just click the link, I guess, that I'm going to put down below. Obviously, I will have all of Alex Patton's links down below as well, so you should go follow her on everything, check it out, and keep reading. Have a great day.